Greetings, peace, love, and wellness, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. I am Samari, and today we're going to continue on with our series of connecting with the sacral chakra. If you're unfamiliar with the sacral chakra is the second main chakra in the seventh chakra system. It is located just below the belly button. On a physical aspect, it is connected to our lower digestive system and our sexual organs and functions. It also connects to the hips and pelvis. It is responsible for our creativity, our sexual energy, our sex drive, our self-esteem, and our emotions. So this is a lot of times in women, this is where we store all our trauma. This is how we also have fibroids and cysts and sexual disorders here. So if you want to work on connecting to the sacral chakra, the womb area, grab your mat and let's get started. So we'll first start off by planting our feet to flat to the mat, feet about hip distance apart. And here we'll just take a moment to take some deep clearing breath, but send the breath to the sacral chakra area. So you feel free to either bring your hands to an upside down triangle right on the wound, or have your hands cuffed and on top of each other, and the thumbs connecting like a little nestled baby. So feel free to do that as well. Both of these are mudras to connect to the sacral chakra. But take a moment and breathe there. And with each inhale and each exhale, visualize a bright orange light going there. So take a deep inhale. And exhale. Again, another deep inhale. And exhale. And just visualize that light getting bigger and surrounding from the front of our womb all the way around our body. Again, another deep inhale. And exhale. Now we will release our hands and bring our hands to our hips. And we'll do a couple pelvic tilts. So when we inhale, we'll push our pelvis forward, tucking in the stomach, bending slightly on the knees. Then exhale, pushing back, pushing our hips back. And I'll show you a side view of what it looked like. So we'll inhale, tucking the pelvis in, pushing it forward. Exhale, pushing back out. And just feel ourselves intentionally connecting to our sacral chakra. Again, inhale, exhale. And feel free to clench your Kegel muscles as you inhale, exhale. And feel free to go at your own pace here. But just be intentional with your movements, intentional that you're connecting to that womb, you're connecting to your pelvis, you're connecting to your hips. With each breath, just feel the clenching and releasing, engaging in that muscle. And we'll release that. Then we'll gently bring our hands to our hips again and just rock your hips from side to side. Again, intentionally pushing each hip from side to side. Allow ourselves to rock and open ourselves up, loosening the hips, freeing any stuck energy that we have in our body that we know willingly or unknowingly. Just giving our hip a stretch. And we'll come back to center. Then extend that right leg out a little bit more so we can make the hips rocks a little bit deeper. Just glide kind of from side to side. Bending that knee as you go from side to side. Again, opening ourselves up. Loosening that hip. And again, go at your own pace, but make it intentional. You can go slowly. You can go a little bit faster, but again, focus on opening that hip with each rock from side to side. And we'll come back to center. Put our hands on our hip again and gently rock our hips in circles. Again, intentionally rolling ourselves. Trying to hit every corner, every angle. By giving our insides a massage. Breathing in with each roll. Allowing yourself to connect with yourself. Like use your hand to just hold your lower stomach and just feel with each rock the movement in your body. Then let's go the opposite way, rolling. And just let yourself get comfortable with yourself here. Again, this is for self-esteem. This is also our creative energy and our sexual energy. So if you're not intimate with your own self, how can you share your intimacy with with others? Then we'll release that and kind of spread our legs a little bit more distance and hip and go a little bit wider with the circles. Again, releasing the hips, releasing any holding we may have in that area as we're connecting. We may not do this movement often, so this is a good time to just make it your best. Our hip joints usually get overlooked unless we have an issue. But we need to look at it. So with yoga, you could take a moment and be present in that area. Then go the opposite direction. And then we'll come back to center. Then we'll extend our hands up into the air, reaching up high. Breathing strong breaths. Reaching our fingertips up, spreading them wide. Stretching our body out. And while our arms is in the air, we'll gently begin to spread our legs out in opposite direction, pointing the feet towards either front of the mat. Then slowly come straight down, straighten the back out as we go down and squat to a plie squat. As slow as you feel comfortable. Breathing here, connecting to our hips, squatting, connecting to the thighs, allowing ourselves to be open. Breathing here. And when you're ready, we'll come back up. And then with our legs spread wide, we'll go ahead and drop this right hand down, this right thigh. Then extending this leg, left arm into the air, keeping this left hip out in space. Stretching here, breathing. And we'll come back to center. Again, we'll extend our hands up into the air. Come down into that plie squat again. Allowing ourselves to be open. Breathing here. When you're ready, we'll lift up and get the opposite side, dropping that left hand down that left leg. Extending this right hand up, keeping that right hip back in space. Then we'll come back to center, extending both hands up again. Exhale, we'll fold forward, diving down towards the front of the mat. Allowing our hands to touch the mat. And then allowing our back to fold down as comfortable as we feel. Allowing the head to hang heavy. Allowing our legs to be as wide as we feel safe. Bringing the head closest to the mat as you can. Breathing here. With each inhale and each exhale, allow yourself to go deeper. If you feel like walking your hands back so you can get even closer to the mat with your head, feel free to do that. Breathing here. And we'll gently walk our hands over towards that right leg, pointing both feet over towards the right side of the mat and folding into this pyramid pose, allowing your head to touch your shin if you can. Then we'll gently walk ourselves back to center and go over to the left side and do the same thing, pointing both feet towards that left direction. And allow your head to come to your shin if you can. Just rest here. And you gently walk ourselves back to center. Inhale, rise back up. Gently roll our shoulders back. Heel toe our feet back together. Walk ourselves out a little bit. We'll extend our hands up into the air. Then exhale, fold forward, diving down. And walk our hands towards the top of the mat and extend our legs back towards the back. And we'll turn ourselves into upside down V, downward dog here. Breathing. We can bend one knee, straighten the other, walking ourselves out. But use this moment to press against that mat, keeping our hips back in space, pointing up towards the sky. Breathing here. And we'll keep this left leg planted. Extend this right leg into the air. Then bring this right knee to the chest. And then release that right knee to the mat. And then extend that left leg back, walking ourselves back into this pigeon pose. Breathing here. Allowing our hips to be open. Walk your hands back as comfortable as you feel. And we'll gently walk our hands over to the inside of that left foot. Grab a hold of that back left foot. Twisting open here. Then we'll release that back left foot. And we'll extend our hands straight up into the air, reaching through the fingertips, stretching more into that lower back and hips. Then when you're ready, we'll release the hand, walking our hands down towards the front of the mat and allowing the front of our head to touch the mat. Then go ahead and press both feet and both hands into the mat. Untuck that back left leg. Extend ourselves back up into the downward dog. Walking ourselves out again. Then we'll keep that right leg planted. Extend that left leg into the air. Then bring that left leg to the chest and go ahead and drop it down to the mat. Extending this right leg straight back. Walking ourselves back. Keeping the chest lifted. Then we'll walk our hands and grab a hold of that right foot. Then go ahead and release that left foot. Walk ourselves back and extend our hands straight up into the air. Then releasing our hands back down, walking ourselves towards the front and releasing the head to the front of the mat. Then we'll press both hands into the mat, releasing that left leg back, bringing our front of our body to the mat. Here we'll just let our body press into the mat. Hands flat to the mat, forearms flat to the mat. Breathing here. Then we'll gently lift the chest and shoulders up into a Sphinx pose. Keeping our legs flat to the mat, pressing the hips against the mat, just lifting the chest and shoulders up. Breathing here. Then we'll release our head back to the mat, bringing our arms to the shoulder area, but yet still pressing into the mat. So it's a bend in our elbow. Then we'll gently lift ourselves up into a cobra pose, still keeping the feet flat to the mat, just lifting the hips and pelvis. So we're pressing against, using our legs to press on the mat, shoulders back, chest lifted, our womb lifted, our pelvis lifted, Breathing here. And when you're ready, we'll release ourselves back to the front of the mat. Releasing our arms flat to the mat. Breathing here. Then we'll turn to our left side, bending that right knee, taking his left hand, pressing against that right knee, extending his right hand up and twisting open for a supine twist, bending at that knee. Then we'll bring that hand back across and get the opposite side. Come onto the front of our body so we can turn over to the right side, bending that left knee, bringing that left hand down and pressing on that left knee, extending this left hand up and across to twist open. Then we'll bring this left hand back across and we'll come up into a comfortable seated position. And at this time, I would like to bow to you and thank you for clicking on this video and sharing your practice with me today. I hope this practice is able to give you a little bit more movement in your hips and in your sacral chakra. Until next time, peace, love, and